Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
So President Biden, as you all know, has met with countless survivors of gun violence and families, mourning loved ones, and the message he hears most often is do something. Today, President Biden will build upon the historic actions he's taken through the bipartisan Safer Communities Act and the 24 executive actions he's taken to date, and announce the establishment of the first ever White House Office of Gun Violence Prevention. This new office will be overseen by Vice President Harris, who has been a key leader in the Biden-Harris administration's effort to end our nation's gun violence epidemic. The office will be held by Stephanie Feldman, a long-time policy advisor to President Biden on gun violence prevention, and two leading gun violence prevention advocates, Greg Jackson and Rob Wilcox. They will join the administrations as deputy directors of the office. Ahead of this afternoon's event in the Rose Garden, I am pleased to welcome to the podium someone who has more authority to speak on this issue than nearly anyone else in this town. And I say that sadly. Congresswoman Lucy McBath. Through her grief and because of her perseverance, she has become a tireless advocate for gun safety reform. For some, this is an abstract debate, but not for Congresswoman McBath. She has lived with the awful and tragic reality of the gun violence epidemic in this country. I can think of no better person to share what today's news means to so many families across the country. On a personal note, she is a hero of mine. In 2018, as I was at a previous job I held, we were sitting around deciding who was going to go to the different districts across the country, obviously, to organize a knock on doors. I stood up and asked to go to Lucy McBath's district because she has so inspired me, and I know so many others out there, with her strength, with her smarts, and her vision for this country. So I literally went door to door, knocking in what is now your district for your first election. And it is a really, truly an honor to have you here today on this important historic moment here at the White House. The podium is yours. Congresswoman.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much, Corinne. And while I serve as a member of Congress today, I am speaking to you first and foremost as a mother. Just over a decade ago, I was living like any other mom in the Georgia suburbs, and I dedicated my entire life to raising my son, Jordan. Then, on November 23rd, 2012, within the course of 3.5 minutes, a man drove up next to my son and his friends as they were parked in their car at a convenience store gas station, firing 10 rounds into the car and killing my only son. In an instant, I was robbed of every dream that a mother holds for her child. I would never send Jordan off to college. I would never see him attend his high school events. He would never graduate from high school. I would never see him get married. Nobody wants to experience what I have. But my story is becoming far too common in the United States of America. Every single day, over 100 people are shot and killed in the United States. Gun violence has no boundaries. From the suburbs to the cities to rural America, over 100 families a day are living their worst nightmare. Our kids are continually traumatized by lockdown drills, while their schools teach them how to hide behind their desks and corner themselves to shield themselves from gunfire. President Biden knows the deep pain of losing a loved one. And today, he is taking decisive action by declaring loudly and clearly, we do not have to live this way. The historic creation of the Office of Gun Violence Prevention marks a new era in the fight to keep us all safe. The office will increase coordination between states and ensure proper implementation of the gun safety legislation that we have already passed in Congress. President Biden's actions today truly will save lives. Thank you.